Hello, everyone. We would like to start our press conference with the crew and would also like to hear about the conclusions of the Interministerial Commission. First, I wanted to say that the launch is scheduled for May 29th on Soyuz TMA-09M at 12:31 a.m. Moscow time. The prime crew is the following: Yurchikhin Fedor Nikolaevich, Soyuz commander of Increment 36, FE for the station and for the Soyuz vehicle, ESA astronaut Luca Parmitano, Soyuz flight engineer and station flight engineer, NASA astronaut Karen Nyberg. And the backup crew consists of a very experienced commander, Russian cosmonaut Michael Turin, Soyuz flight engineer and station flight engineer NASA astronaut Richard Mastrakio, and Soyuz and station flight engineer Koichi Wakata, JAXA astronaut. And I'd like to give the floor to the head of the GCTC, Sergei Krikolov. I would like to give the floor to our journalists who definitely have some questions. I just wanted to make some clarification here. The launch is scheduled for the nighttime on the 29th of local time. However, it will be May 28th GMT. I just wanted to avoid any confusion here and wanted to make this clarification. It's our nominal launch, it's our nominal operation. The only thing that is not nominal here yet is the fast rendezvous profile that we're going to use one more time. We have used that profile before, in particular last time when Increment 35 with the commander Pavel Vinogradov were launching in late March this year, and they docked 6 hours after the launch in Kazakhstan. The crew of Fedor Yurchikhin will also be following the fast rendezvous profile. So anticipating some of your questions, I can say that we have some positive statistics here with regard to the fast rendezvous profile. All the systems work nominal usually, and we also have an additional capability of performing some orbit and coordinates calculation on board the station in short periods of time, which allows the vehicle to approach the station more carefully, so to say. So right now we are very confident in this profile, and let's hear some questions. News of Cosmonautics Journal. I have a question for the Fedor Yurchikhin's crew. We heard some information that you're going to participate in the Olympic torch relay on board the station. So what do you think about that? And I know that the flight program was changed because of this major event. And did you talk to the Olympic Committee? Do they know about it? What do they think about it? And what words did you hear from them? And I think it's a great opportunity and great honor for the crew to be able to participate in this relay. Well, I want to answer this question. You are saying it as if it's already been confirmed. However, it's not really so. We are considering this possibility to participate in the Olympic torch relay. However, according to the standard practice in the space industry, complicated events like this need to be assessed first. And we haven't confirmed and haven't approved this event yet, but we're assessing the possibilities. Yes, we were talking about possible participation in the Olympic torch relay, but we understand all the risks and all the complications that impact the flight program. And actually, it's not the first time when the Olympic torch goes to space. The first time was some years ago, well, actually a couple of decades ago, when the shuttle delivered the Olympic torch for Los Angeles Olympic Games. However, we are very happy. Possibly. I just want to make this reservation possibly. Everything is possible, you know. Possibly we will see our backup crew on orbit while we are still there. Yes, our traditional program is that we will have indirect handover. Usually only 3 crew members stay on board the station after the previous Soyuz crew leaves the station, and they welcome the next crew, but they need to spend some time on board the station as 3 crew. Maybe it will be interesting for you to know that Soyuz crew is going to land on May 13th, at night of May 14th, and maybe in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, a new Soyuz vehicle will launch. However, it is possible that in the fall this year, we're going to have indirect rotation. Next question, please. First, congratulations on the completion of the most difficult part, examination part of your training flow. And the spring is really wonderful here, very warm. I would like to ask you about the task you're going to perform on board the station. What do you expect from this flight? And what do you want to see there? Yeah, Fedor, could you please answer first? As regards the scientific program, of course, the core here are the experiments, long-term experiments that have been performed for a long time, so we're going to continue performing them. But the schedule of our increment is going to be busy as well. Luka is going to have 2 EVAs. Maybe we're going to have EVA 36 closer to the end of our increment. Maybe I will be able to see the ATV vehicle because twice before I missed that opportunity. So maybe this time, finally, I will be able to see this vehicle. So, Luka? It's really difficult to explain everything. Luka, could you please speak English? No, I would prefer to speak Russian. If you don't like my Russian, I can switch to English. Up to you. No, we like your Russian very much. It's really difficult to anticipate something right now. I know that there are 150 experiments going on board the station at the moment. And it's very difficult to select or to single out some specific experiments that I would like most. But I can say that Green Air experiment is a European experiment, Italian experiment. That is why I like it most of all. When we use biofuel, and the purpose of the experiment is to find out which activities we can use and which processes we can use in order not to contaminate our atmosphere, what kind of fuels we can use in our activities. And it's a very useful experiment because the results can be applied immediately on Earth. One more experiment. On board the station are related to human research, in which we're not only participating, but we're also subject of these experiments. I'm talking about the experiments that we are studying how to determine what proportion exists between proteins and well, we can actually use the results of these experiments on Earth right away. And I really hope that we will get some really great results, and it will be useful for the people on board the station. However, besides these two experiments, there are many other experiments that are important for the program and for the Earth. I'll speak English.
The great thing about Space Station right now is that we have a very, very wide breadth of experiments taking place all the time, from things that are external to the space station to experiments that we install and then don't touch again, to experiments on our own body. The experiments, we have probably about 150 going at one time, with hundreds of investigators around the world, which makes the space station just a fantastic place.
I have a question for the commander. It's the ITAR-TASS News Agency. So, do you have any mascot? Well, I will have the same mascot as last time. We are very conservative here. But we're very conservative in everything that is related to our space mission. So I will take the mascot that I had during my first flight, second flight, and third flight. I'm preparing for my fourth flight and third flight on board the station. Same dimensions, same thing. Yeah, maybe I gained some weight, but my mascot didn't. So I will try to be in good shape, just like my mascot. Talking about conservatism, you have an international crew, truly international crew, Italian, American crew members. Is it difficult to have such a crew? No, actually, we feel very good within our crew. Luca, for example, is very easygoing, very friendly. He speaks Russian very well. He is going to learn French. So my crew is learning not only the Russian language, but the Greek language as well. You know, I'm of a Greek origin. And we have no problems communicating within our crew at all. Today, at the Interministerial Commission, Karen spoke Russian there, and I was really, really impressed by her knowledge. So we're conservative here, but maybe not in everything.
You and your crew are scheduled to be on board during the visit of quite a number of different vehicles. Can you talk about the vehicles that are going to be visiting the space station during your time on board, and how you're all prepared to handle that very complex traffic pattern?
Yes, we do have a lot of traffic during the period of time when we're there. The first visiting vehicle we can expect is the ATV, mid-June, I believe. And that, of course, talks to the Russian segment. Then the progress vehicles that regularly travel to and from station will also be coming and going through the summer. On the American segment, the U.S. segment, we have the HTV, which we're expecting in August. And hopefully then, at the end of our tour on Space Station, we'll get the Orbital Science Corporation demo mission. We're kind of hoping for that. And the folks on the ground do all the work in getting it all coordinated. For us, we just execute the plan that they give us. So For us, the only challenge is just doing the work that they plan, but the meat of the planning and work is done on the ground.
I have a question for Fedor. I know that you'll be performing a very busy Russian program during a flight. I know that currently there are some discussions whether or not it's feasible to perform an additional EVA just to inspect the reflector outside the station. What do you think about it? Well, talking about the training flow, I've just opened the program, the Russian program, and it says here that the wording here goes that our flight program can be adjusted depending on the EVAs that are going to happen on board the station. We have nominal EVAs already planned that we're going to perform, and the tasks of these EVAs are both scientific and R&R based tasks. We're going to replace cables. We're going to perform cable routing for the future MLM module, and I'm aware of the fact that the Russian program can be adjusted depending on the tasks that haven't been performed by previous crews or the task that occurred or became urgent at some point of time. But we are all crew members and we are serving one goal. So we will be acting depending on the situation. Yes, we have an approved EVA program, and I know that the dates haven't changed yet. If there are some changes, then we will act accordingly. Right now, we haven't been preparing for any adjustments because we don't know about them. I want to add a couple of words. I think you have participated in at the press conference after the docking. I saw you at the MCC actually, and you know that the docking was nominal. Everything went very well, and I think you heard how the heads of REC Energia and Roscosmos were saying that right now there are two reasons that prevent us from performing that EVA. First, there is no workstation set up there, and also the cartridges, there is also an issue, and the feasibility of this EVA and unclear reasons of this EVA, all of these impede this decision. So maybe it won't be safe for the crew to perform this extra EVA. So I hope that we're going to have some more detailed information later. But as of today, our specialists are assessing a possibility to perform this EVA, and our specialists are assessing the condition of the reflector, and they were modeling the docking and the mating of two vehicles, and our specialists were assessing a possibility of any damage that could have happened between the station and the Kurs antenna, and they have been assessing all the scenarios, possible scenarios that could have happened at that time, especially with regard to the antenna that was not deployed and how it could have impacted the reflectors installed on the station and that are really critical for ATV missions. I can tell you that the analysis was so thorough, and we made so many efforts to assess and understand how the docking actually took place. We can say that the impact, the contact could have been possible, but we do not see any problems with the reflector, and our estimations and calculations show that it is highly likely that the reflector was not even touched by the antenna. So, as Fedor just said, the flight program can be adjusted. Then we will act accordingly. However, we don't know about any decisions of that kind, and maybe their crew will be dealing with that issue if need be. So if we have to do it, the crew that is currently on board or this crew who will be on board very soon will be acting according to the new situation. So I have some questions relating to the psychological factors relating to living so close to each other on board the station. So you have already mentioned a couple of words about your crewmates. Could you please say something about each other? What can you say about each other? And I have a question to Fedor. Fedor, you always have women in your crew. It's your preference or it's just a mere coincidence? Katya, can I call you that? Yes. Actually, this question is of big concern for my wife. Moreover, the situation was very interesting. I was initially assigned to a different crew. I think in November, I think it was in November 2011 when I heard that I will be the commander of this crew. So I heard two names, Luka Parmitano and Karen Nyberg. The name Karen is the first name of a famous Russian movie director, Karen Chaknazarov. So I was thinking that we will have all men in our crew. So my wife decided to look her up on the computer and called me to the computer and asked me, so do you see this man? So, and what did I see? I saw a beautiful, a wonderful woman. So this is how I first saw Karen Nyberg. I don't know why there are some untrue legends in Russia or superstitions in Russia about American women. They think that American women act like businesswomen only. However, you need to see her family. You need to see her little son and how he loves his mommy. Because Karen is mother, first of all, and everything else is secondary. And being an astronaut is not that important as being a great mother. So she's a real woman, a real American woman, a real mother. Talking about Luka, no, please don't talk about me. I'm not a woman. Yes, absolutely true, you're not a woman. But the best quality that I appreciate in him, I already told you that he is an easygoing, a very good person. But the most important quality in him that I appreciate is that he is very goal-oriented. He has a goal. At the same time, he is a very good family man. You really need to meet his family. And what I want to say about all of us is that the most important thing for all of us is our families. And everything else is secondary. Karen is also supported by her husband, an NASA astronaut, who is also here, and her son, whom I call Mr. No because no is his favorite word, are absolutely wonderful. But the most important thing about my crew is that they all like me. Yes, Fedor is a very good man. Yes, I would like to hear the opinion of other crew members as well. Luka, what can you say about the commander? I think I already said a couple of words about Fedor. I can say that it will be my first time in space. And I still don't know what is going to happen, how it's going to look like. But I'm a very lucky person because I will have a very experienced commander.
Начали работать вместе.
So we started working together, and almost immediately after that, I learned that Fyodor is not only a great commander, but he is a great instructor, a great teacher. He's so patient, he explains everything with such patience, and it's a very good and valuable quality for the commander. But above all other things, he's a great friend. He can listen. He can listen to other opinions as well. So he wants to know what I think, and after that, he makes a decision. He's the commander, so he's responsible for decision making. But his ability to listen to other opinions and his desire to listen to other opinions is absolutely invaluable. It's wonderful. I'm honored to be able to fly with such an experienced commander.
Он очень хорошо учился, а я,
And he knows a lot, and I've heard
конечно, он иногда
that he is a very, very experienced cosmonaut. I was also asked a question, is Fyodor a tough commander? Yes, I can say he's tough, but a commander should be tough. Talking about Karen, I can say that we have been working together for 3 years. She's like my sister right now.
она уже летала,
She has been in space
поэтому
some years ago,
вы знаете, как будет. Чуть-чуть.
and she, of course, knows a little bit more than I do about the space. She was a shuttle astronaut.
Такое ощущение, что все будет новое
But at the same time, she told me that she had a feeling that everything will be new on board the station. So she's my elder sister, and I'm a younger brother for her. And as an elder sister, she will always explain new things to me and will always say everything is going to be okay.
улыбайся.
She is always smiling.
Для меня это замечательно.
So for me, it's
Это как
a
летать.
great thing.
А,
It's like being in your one big family. I would like to greet my family over there. My father and my wife are sitting over there. They don't understand Russian and they don't understand what I'm saying right now, but I will tell them later.
For me, one of the most important things when a group gets together to work and get the job done is maintaining a sense of humor and being able to tease each other and joke with each other. And I think we are able to do that well. And like Lucas said, in that way we become family, and it makes it easier to get the job done in a pleasant way.
Федор Николаевич, вот отношения ваших
Fyodor,
вас, вашего экипажа
I have a question for you.
в движении. Разговаривали ли вы уже с экипажем Павла Виноградова? Что, может быть, они...
Did you already talk to Pavel Vinogradov's crew? No, I would like to say a couple of words first.
Первоначально планировалось так.
Initially, we were planning to do the following thing. First, we wanted to perform the first test. Then we need some time for analysis, and if the analysis results are good and positive, then
Очень много усилий, потому что первоначально
it won't
Виноградова будет еще 1-2 полета по старой схеме, и потом мы уже эту новую схему будем принимать как основную. Федор
So initially it was planned that Pavel Vinogradov's will be the first crew flying according to the fast rendezvous profile. Then we will have 2 regular profiles, and after that we might go back to the fast rendezvous profile.
Вот, но дело в том, что по быстрой схеме
Talking about the fast rendezvous profile, it's a complicated thing, but actually we have known about that profile long ago, and we could have done that even earlier.
ко всем нововведениям
However,
у вас на
all
этом этапе
new
космической техники
additions or innovations, especially in terms of space facilities, space equipment, hardware, everybody is very concerned about
где-то,
such innovations.
наверное, летом начали разговор.
So maybe sometime in summer that probably
Потому что очень
we might fly according to the fast rendezvous profile, and I asked my crew to learn their opinion. I wanted my crew to support me because I was
Гораздо больше усилий.
going to fly the fast rendezvous profile. I wanted to do that.
Старая схема его устраивает как борт-инженера.
My flight engineers could have told me that the old
Это надо отдать
regular profile was okay for them. However, they supported me,
он с этими задачами
and the fast rendezvous profile implies
тренировок. Поэтому мы
more tasks for flight engineers, but they agreed to do them.
нас поддерживали.
And we would also like to thank all our instructors and GCTC
Эти тренировки
specialists who supported us, who trained us.
были подпольные.
We
Советском были самые, но они взяли
want to say that
тоже. Спасибо.
there are some people who took all the responsibility on themselves, and we as a crew are going to perform
Наше желание
this profile. It's our desire to fly according to this fast rendezvous profile, and thanks everyone for your support.
Может быть, кто-то знает, но многие, может быть, не помнят, что
So many of you know, but some of you might not remember, that
летали
Soyuz vehicles to the Salyut orbital station were flying according to fast rendezvous profile. So it took them only 1 day to dock after the launch. After that, we decided to have more redundancy in our systems, and
в то время временно вроде как перешли на двухсуточную.
we at that time temporarily switched to the 2-day rendezvous profile. So when people say that
Там 8 раз мы сократили время полета, на самом деле
it's
его, ну, не так.
an old scheme, well, it depends what you mean by old and new.
Современными
So right now, using all the modern hardware and technologies, we can reduce the flight of the vehicle in several times. Right now, the new COM facilities allow us to perform such fast rendezvous profile.
Я помню, много лет назад мы обсуждали варианты.
I remember that many years ago,
Сейчас, кстати,
I was participating in some discussions regarding the fast rendezvous, and there were some suggestions that maybe we should have 2 or 3 orbit rendezvous as well. So we were assessing that
абсолютно
possibility very thoroughly.
автономные стыковки на сегодняшний день это 40 с небольшим минут. Это космос.
You understand that the autonomous docking right now is 40 plus minutes.
Дай бог,
But
по-моему, Gemini 11, 8, Gemini 8, 80, почти 90 минут. К сожалению,
when we're talking about manned vehicles,
ушел тоже на этот рекорд. То есть это хорошо забытая старая. Другое дело, что
we are using the scheme that was developed some time ago. So we're just using something that was invented some time ago.
времени старта.
The only thing here is that we should be more sensitive to the exact time of the launch and the timing itself. So we also have redundancy during this fast rendezvous profile. One more question. Yes, I wanted to ask this question first to you. How will you celebrate the Victory Day, May 9th, tomorrow? What will you do? What Luca and Karen will do at Baikonur? You haven't been there yet. No, we have been at the Baikonur. So will your families be with you there?
В первую очередь, куда
Of course, definitely.
спасибо.
First, I wanted to thank our American counterparts
Ну, такого
because
раньше не было.
earlier we
Это
did not have that at all. It's a new tradition for us. So if you're talking about some Soviet traditions, families were not allowed to go to Baikonur. So the first time I experienced that in 2001 when I started my training in Houston, and I saw how NASA management treated the families of astronauts and how sensitive they were to their needs. So I raised the question here in Russia, and in the year 2002 my family was able to go to Baikonur. So slowly but surely our families started going to Baikonur. It's a great tradition actually, because they're able to support us there at such an important moment. So our families are here. Mr. Savin is also here. He knows all the rules and regulations, and he follows their performance as well, implementation. And he is responsible for our family's trips to Baikonur. So this is the holiday of families, of Russian, Soviet families, European families. I mean, Victory Day.
Мы очень рады, что мы можем
We are very happy that we can
на Байконуре.
be with our families at the Baikonur.
Они рядом.
We know that they're very close to us and they can see our launch. It's a fantastic psychological support.
Очень рад, что есть возможность.
I'm very happy that they can go to Baikonur, and I absolutely agree with what Fedor said. So who will go with you to Baikonur, Karen?
For my family, my husband will be in Baikonur to see my lunch and see me off, and also my youngest brother will be there as well, along with a few other guests.
Thank you very much. I wanted to add that according to our tradition, the prime and backup crew will go to the Cosmonautics Museum, and after that they will go to the Red Square. Yes, you can take the seats here. The backup crew should stand right behind them. This is our previous flight. Please say hello to them. When you see them on board the station, here is the pen. Yes, could you please write something on this page? Yeah, please read what they're writing. Yeah. So don't write the same thing. Today is a wonderful day.
You know already. I'm going to show these guys in Latin. Good memory, if you're in Russian. Il sedere di Gagarin. I know there are more longer last name than
And here is the in the 80s. Savitska was training here. Orlan suit.
Yes, please stand like this.
There's no doubt. Yes.
We're going to go into that building and see what's in it.
I'm not sure we're going into a building, honey.
Germany army or Russian Germany army.
They kept fighting over the snow.
Yes, all together. Let's do it all together.
Kent?
Ora cannone.
What is that? What are you looking at?
We're going close right now
I get it.
to see a big thing.
Karen Nyberg, we're here at Red Square and the Kremlin today, May 8th. Can you talk about some of the traditions in coming here? And you were here 6 months ago as a member of a backup crew, and what's that like for you now as you're getting ready for your own space flight?
You're right, this place is rich with traditions before a Soyuz flight, and we're now here at Red Square. The Kremlin, one of the main things we did was lay flowers at the tomb of some fallen space pioneers, basically. And it's a great tradition. When I was here in December, it was the first time that I'd been a part of it, and it was pretty exciting. Of course, it was snowing then, and it was awfully cold. It's a little different today. Of course, today the weather's beautiful, but being a part of these traditions that the Russians have been doing for so many years is really an honor.
And we saw actually outside you were laying some flowers at what looked like a Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and there was a parade celebration going on. Can you describe what was going on?
Well, tomorrow is Victory Day here in Russia, and so it's a very big holiday for them in celebrating, and our commander, Fyodor Yuchkin, wanted to honor fallen soldiers today by laying flowers at the tomb.
Karen, you're here with your son, and this is a real additional challenge in all of the training you've gone through for spaceflight to bring this little guy out here. And can you talk about what it's like to be a mom in training for spaceflight and in preparation for your mission, and how are you going to be able to work with this little guy once you're on board?
Well, it's definitely a different challenge than what I had for my shuttle flight, having the family, and I've tried to bring him with me to Russia as much as I can, because just so I can spend as much time with him. And we try to talk to him about where I'm going and what I'm doing, and you never know how much a 3-year-old understands, but he just earlier today said he wants to be an astronaut when he grows up. So I think we'll have good communication with him when I'm on orbit. So, and hopefully someday he can talk about how proud he is of his mom for what she did.
So right after the commissioning, which is when we are actually clear for flight, this is a traditional trip that we do here at the Red Square to pay homage to some very, very famous people for Russian space flight. So what we do is we carry these flowers to the tomb of Korolyov, which was the chief designer at the time of Gagarin's first flight. So that's the first tomb that we visit. We lay the flowers, we salute him, we think about it, and then we move over to Gagarin's tomb, which of course is one of the greatest heroes in Russian history. He's the first man who ever flew around the Earth. After that, we pay homage to 5 more cosmonauts who have done something so special to have a place of honor here at the Kremlin. So we have the crew that flew on the very first space station, an astronaut, a cosmonaut that died doing an experiment, and so on. But today, we actually had a special event because at this time of the year, Russia celebrates the Day of Victory, which is their way of celebrating the end of the Great War, World War II. So today, a lot of delegations are paying their homage to the tomb of the unknown soldier. So my commander, Fyodor Yurchikhin, actually organized this special event where we went and saluted the tomb of the unknown soldier. Now, especially for me as a military, that is an incredible honor to be able to do that in a formal environment, in a formal way. So it was a very intense moment for me to be able to do that.